minds are made up, and I just what a massive, unbelievable miscalculation of reading through some of that leaked email. Next from Triple B, he says, I guess he's repping the big brawler brand with the triple B's there. Says, what you need to understand by the fact of how Kai McAllister, director of operations, is not fired for his attitude, actions, conduct, and simply the type of person he is, speaks volumes of the CEO, Ammon McNeff. Kai McAllister is enabled by Ammon McNeff and is obviously backed by him since he isn't fired. Yeah, Kai McAllister saying he was like talking at Crystal was insane.
And you talked with her or you talked at her?
We talked at her.
I thought he kind of gave him a layup question. He's like, were you talking with her or at her? He's like, oh, I was talking at her. And I was like, oh, okay, this is where we're at now. Okay, that changes things. I absolutely really wonder what all of the other independent franchisees think of this guy, because it's who they could possibly have to interact with and have a dispute with. And I think if I were the CEO, I'd fire him. I mean, frankly, for Bricks and Manyfigs to save enough face here to continue on, the CEO may have to step down. Like, there's a lot that Bricks and Manyfigs is going to have to do that it's far beyond just making Brian whole now. And I think a lot of people are going to probably get fired or may need to be fired again unless they're really going to dig their feet in and really try to stick it out with this, which is clearly not working thus far. And I cannot imagine a scenario in which it starts clearly working. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot potentially to be done there. And then finally from Cancusi, he says, regardless, Eamon, Kai, and the new owners need to immediately be removed from their positions. There's no room in this community for people like this. And I think that is ultimately, like I was just mentioning, kind of where things are going to need to end up for people to be able to potentially reconcile with Bricks and Manyfigs. And I guess that is in addition to them making Brian whole and whatever else they may be able to do to try to win back some goodwill of the community. Basically, I think they're screwed here, though. Again, just short of a wholesale change of power and ownership within the company, under new management type of vibes from a restaurant to try to get people back in the door. I just don't see it here, man. I don't think there's a pathway out of this for Bricks and Manyfigs. Again, they could win in court. Legal proceedings can go every way they want. And the community has decided that you wronged Brian. You've threatened people. Brian and his father lost their Lego collection, and everything else has happened. It's basically good luck at this point. Bricks and Manyfigs, if they really think this is going to go well, at some point, it's just magically going to turn around. It feels like the equivalent of, if I'm playing Shaq in a 1v1 and I keep driving to try and make a layup. I'm not making a layup on Shaq. It doesn't matter. Now I can back up and run away from him, turn around, shoot, I'll get a shot off. That can work, but you're not making a layup here. It's not going to happen. So I think they need to stop trying to make layups on Shaquille O'Neal. It's not happening. So that's why the latest on the Lego scandal, Bricks and Manyfigs situation, and like obviously go back to Brian and his dad, and that's the whole aspect of this. And some ways gets lost here. You get so caught up in the Bam is lying and they're doing this, and we're the sets in the store and working in the store, and at the end of the day too, it's still Brian and his father and their Lego collection. I really feel for them. It's just one of those things where it's like I'm a lifelong Lego Star Wars collector myself, and every time I got that, it will never feel good. It always makes me sad, and so I definitely feel really badly for Brian and his father. But again, the rest of the on me, I down below is extremely successful. I don't know what percentage of money is going to go represented his legal fees, Brian and his father for the collection, their legal fees. So hopefully the portion of it goes Brian to making his father whole. Yeah, I thought Brian will, he seems like he's in good spirits, and so most people hope for a situation like this, honestly. But yeah, I'll get choked up thinking about Dad and Brian. Yeah, I just feel for them in the whole situation, man. It's one of those things that has continued to grow. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And then says part 3 is coming out where I don't even know if it can get worse, honestly, but apparently maybe it can. So we'll see what comes out of part 3. But as we have this after, if you have questions or topics for next week's video, leave them in the comments section below. Ideally, not all over the videos, if you have questions on our community, that'd be cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments, like and enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully the short episode.
Dear creator community, my name is Jack Conti, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Patreon. On May 29th, Patreon received an official takedown request filed by Bricks and Manyfigs for media and accounts related to Reckless Ben and an ongoing dispute regarding a local Lego consignment issue. This is the verified complaint with exhibits. This is the request for immediate content removal pursuant to temporary restraining order. And this is the motion for the temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction. So after an extensive review and investigation by Patreon's Trust and Safety team, we have in fact unfortunately determined that Bricks and Manyfigs can stuff it. We're keeping Ben's page up. And if Bricks and Manyfigs doesn't like that, they can sue us. Patreon out.
I really want to talk about a task, a test that basically everyone fails. I have a hunch that you won't fail this test, Hannah.
Not so sure.
But we'll see. We'll see. Let me give you some context first. which I shouldn't normally do because in actual experiments where this task is given, people are just there to get their $10 and go. And I think that if you hype it up and you tell people, oh, you got to really think about it. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh, it's such a tricky one. Then people will probably spend more time and get it right. Okay. We could talk about all of that later, but let's just dive right into it. This is a reasoning test, a very simple single question that involves 4 cards that was devised in 1966 by Peter Cathcart Wasson. And it is basically the test when it comes to studying the psychology of reason. All right. If you look into the history of our scientific study of human reasoning, you basically only find this test. The test is called the Wasson Selection Task, and it was developed in 1966 by Peter Cathcart Wasson. Now, today it has been called the most intensely researched single problem in the history of reasoning. And my 2 favorite philosophers, researchers of reason, Mercier and Sperber, they call it, actually, they don't know what to call it. This is what they say. Is this selection task to psychology of reasoning what the microscope has been to biology? Or is it rather as the Rubik's Cube has been to biology? Just kind of baffling and fun.
Not adding anything really of any merit.
So in Wasson's original test, only 10% of people got it right. If you look across all the studies that have replicated that since, you get a number closer to 4%. And that's not super surprising. There are difficult questions out there, but with some slight changes, we can make everyone get it right. And that is what is so strange. So let's begin with the original.
This episode is brought to you by Cancer Research UK.
Here's something strange. Your DNA contains more